What's up? What's happening, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. We are rocking today. It's going to be one of those shows where we switch things up, but constantly. It could be week to week, and eventually, once things get really busy, it could be show to show. We could be talking about a bunch of different things, bunch of different sports in the same show. But this week's show going to focus primarily on the Knicks. The next week's show looks like it's going to be lined up. Everything's working out fine. We'll be talking about the Giants. And then the week after that, if everything works out well, we'll be talking about the Mets because I've got a couple special shows lined up for State of the Games. But, bear with me. It's a work in progress, and stay tuned because, like I said, I'm also trying to get special guests to come on the show with me and talk about our New York Football Giants or the New York Mets. So stay tuned. We'll get that going. But in the meantime, we are here, folks. The New York Knicks have decided to hire Coach Mike Brown. For some people, this is like the kept secret because I guess some people feel like he was going to be the coach from, a while ago. They already had him penciled in. I didn't see it that way. I actually thought there was a good chance Taylor Jenkins was going to be the coach. I thought Mike Brown definitely had a chance. And then there was a slim outside chance that I thought somebody, might come in the last hour from somewhere else, maybe a James Borrega. Who knows? Maybe a coach that we weren't even thinking about because of the way that Leon Rose moves. Always throw a curveball at people. Every time you think you know something, he tries to do something a little different. And even when you look at it, in some cases, they did that again because a lot of us didn't really think, even though Mike Brown is definitely a worthy coach, we didn't necessarily think he was going to get the job just because Mike Brown has been in the league for a little while now, and he has had a lot of success. He's got a really good winning record in the league. He's got a good playoff record. He has 4 championships as an assistant coach, with teams, and he's also won Coach of the Year twice. So he definitely has the resume. It's just a thought about, is he similar to Tom Thibodeau in the fact that he's coached and never really got a team to the promised land? Well, he's gotten them there, but they haven't won. Let's say that. They haven't been able to win. But, we got to look at things a little differently, too. Sometimes we get caught up in our own little bubble, the standpoint of, oh, well, he's never done it before, so, he's not the guy that can do it. That's not how we should look at it. It's the same thing that I said with regards to Tom Thibodeau. It's the whole point of, give Tom Thibodeau the weapons, right, and see what he does with it. That's why I was so big. And if you go back to previous shows on Still Knicks Fans, I talked about the fact that I'm not happy with certain things that Tibbs does or has done, but I want to see how this season plays out before I can say if he's the guy to get us to the next level or not, because Tibbs has never had a team like this. So the least we could do is let the guy rock with the team and see what happens, right? You know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, even though this was a successful season, in the end, the Knicks felt a different way, and they felt like now was time. Can't be mad at it. Can't be mad at it. So I hope everybody can see me okay. I hope the sound is all right. For whatever reason, tonight of all nights, looks like, StreamYard is telling me my connection is a little unstable. So I hope we can get through it and everything works out okay. But thank you to everybody who's tuned in and is watching. I know that this is not my usual, that's the whole thing with this show. I just got to pick a day and go on. You know what I mean? Everybody has their certain schedules that they're set. You guys know my Saturday show, our Monday show. But this one, I just have to fit in wherever I can. It could be on Wednesday, Thursday, at whatever time. I just have to figure out a way to fit it in somehow. But thank you guys for tuning in and showing love as always. Shout out to Crim's dad in the building. Salute to you, my guy, member of the SKF Army. What's going on, brother? Shout out to Andios in the building. What up, Andios? NYK. As always, salute, my guy. Knicks fans, if you're loving the content, make sure to give that like button a click, subscribe to the channel, relax, and soak in the experience. No finer words have ever been spoken. Shout out to you, my guy. Appreciate you. Shout out to Lena Franklin. Thank you for being here, Lena. She says, what up, family? I want to say welcome to our new head coach, Mike Brown. Welcome to the team. Facts. Appreciate you. Prezi the boss in the building. Ron the Teflon Don with another one. DJ Khaled voice. Yes, sir. Another one. I love it. Shout out to Wonder Woman in the building. Let's go. What's going on, Wonder Woman? Hope you are doing well. Who else we got real quick before we get going? Danny Landis is in the building. What up, Danny? Big Ron salute, bro, from Lucas and I. Hey, what up, Lucas? Happy 4th to you as well, man. I hope everybody has some plans or something going on for this weekend. The 4th of July doesn't usually run on the weekend, but when it does and it's beautiful weather, take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Make the best of it. Shout out to Giants fan in the building. I believe the real key to success for Brown will be how flexible he is with the 10-man rotation and his assistant coaches. I agree. Salute to Miguel P in the building. Salute to Ron, Andios, and the chat. What's going on, Miguel? Webb is in the building. What up, Webb? Salute. Hey, shout out to Crim's dad. Got that member for 9 months plaque right there. Let's go, baby. He said, I see you, Ron. 249 years, almost 250th USA, 4th. Let's go. And shout out to my guy, Paris Duggan, for the generous super chat. He said he's not similar to Tibbs because unlike Tibbs, Brown is a willing coach to collaborate with his assistants and management to cook up the best product. Wow. That's tough. That's a rough one, man. Of course he's similar to Tibbs. What you mean? Tibbs has won a championship as an assistant coach. Mike Brown has won he's won a couple championships as an assistant coach. Tibbs was coach of the year twice. Mike Brown is coach of the year twice. Tibbs was always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Mike Brown was always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Now, anyway, listen, they're both very good coaches in this league. Tibbs is more on the defensive side. Mike Brown now is more on the offensive side, only because of also the teams he's been given. But he's been a defensive coach, but he's tailored his style of coaching to what his personnel is. That is a good thing for our New York Knicks. And so two is with regards to Tibbs, he was a disciplinarian coming into this league. He was very stern. He ran tough practices. He was always, on the guys and always, running them into the ground. He's changed over the years, and oddly enough, he might have been softer, become a little bit more of a player's coach. And the knock on him is he stopped holding people accountable. Mike Brown, on the other hand, is tough in practices, does run the guys tough in practices, and holds his players accountable. So this is interesting. You know, maybe, and that's the reason why I'm looking at the hire a little different. Yeah, was he my first choice? No. If you guys been watching me, you know James Borrego was my guy. He was the guy that I thought, could get the job. I'm not saying he was the best pick. He was just my pick. I thought Taylor Jenkins would have been fine too. But the thing about Mike Brown is, I obviously have to look back at the situation and look at the differences and why the Knicks would have made this call. I talked a little bit about it when I was walking and talking earlier today in my little walks. I mean, I think the Knicks, just bottom line, I think the Knicks went with what they felt was a safe pick, but a smart pick. You know what I mean? I think Mike Brown, say what you will about him, but he wins, right? He wins. Everywhere he goes, he wins. Now, you might not, he might not be able to get to a championship depending on his roster, but coming to New York, that's not something that's going to hold him back, right? Because New York has the roster to make it to the finals. We could have made it to the finals this year if things would have went differently. They have the roster to make it to the finals. So Mike Brown already has that in his favor. This will be the best team Mike Brown has ever coached. So you got that. He's in New York. He's in a beautifully, fun place to play in Square Garden. You got celebrities, the spotlight, everything's on him and the team. The media, everything is going to be about Mike Brown and the Knicks, right? So he's got the spotlight. Then you got to think about this team. Because of the changes that the Knicks made, bringing in Jalen Brunson was one, right? Then you got Josh Hart, and then, you got Mikal Bridges, you got OG Anunoby, you got Cat. But the team has gotten themselves in a position where they've got offensive weapons now. And while Mikal and OG and Deuce and Mitchell Robinson and to some extent Josh Hart are the defenders, when you look at it, they lean more towards offense than defense now. So, and we already knew Tibbs could not coach offense. All right. He had some little fundamental plays, some vanilla plays that anybody could run. But as far as doing some intricate things or motion offense or just expanding on what the Knicks could do, that wasn't Tibbs' strong suit. But Mike Brown has learned how to be good at that. His time at Sacramento surprised a lot of people, and he learned and developed, different systems there. But this is something he can bring to the Knicks that we haven't had, guys. So I think that's the most interesting thing about the hire. We thought that we were just one way, and now we're realizing we're different. So as far as that goes, I think Mike Brown is a safe, interesting, but smart pick to be the head coach of the New York Knicks. And the one thing I really like about him is the fact that he is tough, that he does run practices. Because the thing about this Knicks team that we saw, and listen, we can't act like we didn't see it. The fundamentals were lacking, they were lacking the fundies. We were making terrible turnovers, poor ball handling, decision making was just ridiculous at times, and clutch moments. Like, if a team that practices, you don't do that. Now, towards the end of the regular season and the playoffs, we cleaned up our free throw shooting, but throughout the regular season, we had a lot of issues shooting free throws. If you practice and work on it, you don't do that. You don't have those issues. So I'm like, if Mike Brown is known for running practices and getting guys to work, then that's what we need, because we lacked in fundamentals. So let's get that going. I like that. I'm okay with that. So we'll see. We'll see. Is he the right person for the job? I don't know that. I can't answer that yet, but I will tell you one thing. He can be. With what he brings to the table, he definitely could be the right person for this job. He could be the guy to take the team to the next level, because the team is already there. He could just come in and make them better because his style might fit them better. And that whole thing about holding people accountable is very important for this Knicks team. We already talked about guys, having certain things happen last year. You saw a lot of infighting, guys arguing over defensive positioning and assignment. Then you saw the team meetings that were called in the playoffs. There was a lot of stuff that was going on. And then, the other thing is we always talk about Tibbs not really coming down on certain players when he needs to. And so Mike Brown is the type that he will. The only thing that I don't want Mike Brown to do is to start talking in public with the media, like calling people out. You can say there's issues with the team. We sucked at this. We were bad at this. I need better at this, whatever. That's fine. But don't call people out by name and put the finger on them in press conferences. Don't do that. And we good. I think we'll be all right. Shout out to Son from Brooklyn. Salute. What up, Son? Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous super chat. He says Tibbs is on because of insubordination, period. Well, I think it's a little bit more than insubordination. This was building. That's what did him over. That did him in, right? But this was building up. I mean, the Knicks thought about firing him last year. And not because he did anything wrong, just because they thought last year they wanted to go in a different direction. This year, he probably earned his way out. So I guess that's the way to look at it. Shout out to JJ in the building. What up, JJ? Good to see you, my guy. Okay, I see Webb got a question. I'm gonna get to that. Okay, shout out to Johnny Davis in the building. What up, Johnny? Good to see you. Shout out to Cardiac Knicks in the building. He said the Knicks traded in a Ford for a Chevy. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think people may be surprised at how Mike Brown get these guys playing. I think remember, like I said, Brown has never coached the Knicks team, never coached a basketball team this good. He had good players, but he didn't have a team this good with this much talent on it. Look at the Sacramento teams. Look at the Cleveland Cavalier teams. They had LeBron. He didn't have look at even the Lakers teams. You had Kobe but look at the cast of characters from top to bottom that they had over there. So I'm, just saying. And yeah, Miguel says coach has to provide his player from the media. Agreed. And shout out to you. Shout out to Randu. Thank you guys for being members of the SKF Arm. Appreciate it. Cam from the Kickback in the building. What up, Cam? Says salute, Ron. Glad the coaching search is over. Don't think there was a perfect choice, but Brown may bring a different swag, and we could use that and to assistance. And I think that's the thing too. I think his willingness to, as was said in the chat already, his willingness to be fluid with rotation, his staff is going to be a breath of fresh air to not only the staff, but to the players around. Listen, there's to this too. Like Tom Thibodeau has become more of a player's coach, but he's not well liked by all the players, if that makes sense. Like the players on his team, ones that he goes to the most, right, is his core. They love Tom Thibodeau for the most part. Maybe the new guys that have come into the mix, the OGs, the McCalls, maybe they feel a little different, but they're newer to the mix. Like guys like Julius Randle, Quickly, RJ, Brunson, Hart, they love Tibbs, but it is what it is. Paris, Ron, you keep ignoring why a team can't notch if you don't collaborate together about players and the usage. But yeah, no, I mean, I Parish, but What I'm saying is that is just the reason that they fired him right now. Tom Thibodeau was on the hot seat 3 years ago, but we've learned that the Knicks were thinking about getting rid of him last year, but Eric Spoelstra re-upped on his deal. That didn't come out of nowhere. I didn't say that, but close to the organization, close to James Dolan said that. That was before this year. This year just made it think easier for them to do it. All right. And so let me do this too. We've already looked at this before. This is something that I showed in a little coaching breakdown on Know the Ledge. But let's just look at these pros and cons again real quick. Well, you know, necessarily you want to call them pros or cons. Whatever, good and the bad. No, I think it, JJ, I'm sorry, bro. I think it is me for whatever. My connection is acting very spotty today. I don't know what it is, bro. I apologize, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I mean, from day to day, I still pay for the highest connection I can get in my area. But I think, you know, after a while with weather and different rain, I think I just have to have the cable people come out and take a look at the wire. It's been about 8 or 9 months. I come out and take a look again. That's all I can guess, because it's been like this, and it was good for a while, but now it's starting to act, you know, funky. So I apologize about that. I would reset things, but I don't want to lose the stream. So unfortunately, I just have to deal with it for now. Hope it gets better. So Paris says, no, Ron, Dolan didn't like that kid and talk to half his players, the GM and the president of operations for a couple of years. Where'd you get that from, Parrish? I didn't hear that. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just. Okay. So let me put this up real quick. All right. So if you guys remember this, man, this stinks. I really want to refresh this. I don't know the stream. I'm kind of worried. Let me see how it looks on my end. Let me see what you guys see. Huh. All right. So okay. So it looks looks okay at the moment, but I know it's going to be a little jittery. So like I said, guys, just please bear with me. Like I said, if I refresh it, I think I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't want to lose the stream. JJ says, I just hope he runs the pick and pop with Brunson and Cat. Well, I mean, that's something that he likes to do with his players. So maybe he'll do it with Brunson and Cat. So the good NBA Coach of the Year 2009, 2023, 3 NBA champions, and actually that's wrong. It's 4 NBA championships as an assistant coach. Excuse me. Playing fast and free, Popovich style defense. Popovich was a big part of you know, his learning as an assistant coach. A strong communicator and leader, and I should have added that he has developed a very strong offensive system. That's another one of his good attributes. His offensive system was basically being touted as one of the better ones in the NBA when he was with the Kings. One was it 2 years ago? Finished 6th in offense in the NBA. So yeah, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, guys. It's the inefficient defensive strategy that also has to do with his personnel because he hasn't had the best person his defenses. The Knicks be a little better having Josh Hart here, Deuce, OG, Macau. So let's stay tuned and see how that plays out. Poor 3-point defense goes back to the same thing, not having the proper to play good defense on 3-point shooting. Now they don't play drop coverage. His style is a little different, but he still ran into because he didn't have the guy that could play the defense that he needed. Like I said, the Knicks are a little different. They have some decent weapons. Don't forget, look at his power forward with Sabonis. Sabonis don't play no defense. Who was his center over there? I can't even tell you the name of it, of whoever he was. So he had some issues over there. Inconsistent rotations. Now, this was one of those that it's not that he's not willing to play people. Mike Brown feels like you are not doing what he wants you to do. He will not play you. That's like any coach in the league. It has nothing to do with will he play young guys. It has nothing to do with will he expand his rotation. He will do that if you are playing the way he wants you to play. But if you're not doing something the way he wants you to do it, he's not just going to play you. So it's a little different from Tibbs. Tibbs had rules and an hierarchy of who he played and why he played them. Mike Brown is just simple. If I go out there and you're not playing well, then you're going to sit on the bench. That's it. It's different. Blowing leads and losing close games. You guys, we're talking about the Sacramento Kings not having a closer, not having a two guy that can get you the buckets down the stretch, just not having dependable people. Okay. Say what you want about De'Aaron Fox, but De'Aaron Fox was too. And then towards the end, he got DeMar DeRozan, but DeMar DeRozan is not the same DeMar DeRozan he used to be. And as I already mentioned, calling out players in press conferences, that's just not the way to go. Just, there's a way to handle it. He didn't handle it that well. Frustrated with the situation, but it backfired on him and was kind of part of the reason why he's no longer the coach of the Sacramento Kings. So there's that. All right. So we know that already, but that's the book on Mike Brown. There's more to it. Brief summary of it. I think hold on, before I move on, I got another super chat real quick. Paris Duggar says the best players Tibbs coached: D Rose, Butler, Cat, and Mike Brown, Kyrie, LeBron, Kobe, Curry, Clay, Draymond, Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. Not close. No, but it's not the same. See, you're saying you're going top heavy, right? You're saying it just as far as overall talent, individual players, talented. Like he coached a bigger class of talent. But when I'm talking about roster, it don't matter how good one the team is. And so for him, he hasn't really coached good teams from top to bottom. Yeah, he coached. Who else did they have on Cavs? I'll wait. No, he coached Kobe. Who else did Kobe have on those teams with him? I think they had Powell, but just look at the other trotting out there every night. Like just because you got star power in Kobe and Powell, and I think they had Law Odom. He coached Curry and Clay and Draymond, but not really. Those were Curry's teams, man. Those were Curry's. Um, and then Sabonis, but I'm like I said, that his roster. This is going to be the best roster he's ever coached. We're talking Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony, guys stack up against most of the talent he's coached. I'm not saying neither one of them is better than LeBron. I'm not saying neither one of them is better, or and I'm not talking about the Golden State Warriors because that's Kerr's team. I'm talking about guys. Kyrie's a different story. I think I can match up Kyrie with Jalen Brunson. Sorry, I think for what they both do, I think they can match. That's just my opinion. And Bron, I'm not matching him up with anybody or Kobe, like the class. But still, you know. And then we're not even going to talk about D Rose and Butler because those are guys that I feel, you know, brother. I see. I just went in and out. Okay. All right. Hopefully, let me check the. All right. I'm gonna try, guys. I'm gonna try to refresh and see what happens. Okay. I apologize. This looks crazy. I think it's better now. Uh, but I'm going to. All right, hold on, hold on. Okay, yeah, I think it's better now. Better now. Let me see if I can hear myself. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So, yeah, it's a little better now. I don't know what's going on. I've cut off other things that might be called. I've even got rid of some of the other windows that I might have had open. Man, it's weird stuff. This is really weird. Guess I'm gonna have to. No, Tim's that. Yeah, man. I don't know, bro. This is crazy. I don't know, man. Let me see. I'm restarting this. See if it looks a little better over here. Okay. All right. Well, that's the best we can do for now, folks. We just got to try to make it work. What up, Tori B? What's going on? Good to you. All right, let me move on to and try to get through this. I wasn't going to be on too long anyway. Other people are scheduled to be on tonight. I don't want to, you know. All right, next up. Coaches. Rick Brunson Apparently, he's going to be an assistant coach squad, so there's no getting around. James Borrego, will he be added to the assistant coaches? Don't know. Where the conversation left off with Dawn, she considered being part of the staff. Mike Brown even want her and James Borrego as a part of his staff? I don't know. That's actually interesting. I might have to look into that, Miguel. Thanks for the suggestion, bro. So, I don't know why the Rick Brunson thing is here, but it is. So, and apparently, no matter who was going to be a part of the staff, I still think it's crazy, but whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I actually, the only reason I could understand Rick being here at one point was because of the fact that, I mean, we needed somebody else that had a strong enough voice that could speak instead of Tibbs. But now when you got somebody like Mike Brown, I don't know if it's needed as much, but whatever. That's what they've decided to do. And I guess they made it cool for whoever was going to take the job. Obviously, Mike Brown is okay with it. Hey, whatever. It is what it is. Maybe yeah, Marvin Smith. What up, Marvin? Maybe that it is. Maybe Rick is like Herb Williams, right? Remember when the Knicks for however many years under different coaches, like he was the constant? Maybe Rick Brunson is the new constant. I don't know. Shout out to Keyshawn. He said, "You not worried Mike Brown might be more of a yes man?" No, I actually don't think Mike Brown is a yes man at all, bro. I think that's part of the reason why they got him up. I think he was not a yes man, and I think that's what caused him some problems. I think he wasn't willing to go with the status quo. Like when the issue started happening with him and De'Aaron Fox, I think he handled it in a certain way that's the reason why he got up out of it. Well, they got him up out of there, should I say. I still think it's weird that you have issues between a player and a coach, and you get rid of the coach, and then you still trade the player. Like, I still find that weird, but hey, whatever. I mean, that's true too, Parrish. He did take a lot less salary. But remember, guys, we're going to be able to say that only for a little while longer, especially if the Knicks win. If the Knicks win, remember, in I think 2 more years, when Brunson's up for his next extension, he's going to be able to get 300 plus million for his next contract. So yeah, just remember these days where he took that discount now, because he ain't taking another one. Shout out to Brian McMahon in the building. Said, why hasn't Mark Jackson considered for the head coach? He was well, we talked about it, Brian. I mean, I don't know if you've been able to tune into previous shows, but we went into the whole thing about Mark Jackson, his beliefs, and how he rubbed people the wrong way with some of his it's not even the beliefs, it's his style of going, how he would feel towards others around his beliefs. Mark Jackson is very strong. He's devout, and he was playing around. He also didn't like other things that were happening in society, and he was very vocal about it, apparently. And being in the area where he was coaching, that caused a lot of problems. So, you can. The whole thing that you know about Mark Jackson from before is the same reason that he still runs into problems to this day. Shout out to Deron Wayne in the building. What up, Deron? Appreciate you. Good to see you as always. A member of the SKF Army. Shout out to Ruben Nunez in the building. He said, clearly the Knicks had no plans. If you end up with Brown as your coach, you definitely had no plan. See, I think everybody is looking at that wrong, man. I think guys, when you think about Mike Brown, you can't keep looking at Mike Brown in the same light that we would have done before, because this is not the same team that Mike Brown has coached. And this is not the same situation that we've been in the past. We are a championship ready team. We're ready for a championship. Are we ready to win? That's another story. But we are ready for a championship. So when you look at that, there's no more hurdles to climb. There's no more development of this to get to this. We are there. Next year, the Knicks are going to be in the playoffs. If the Knicks aren't in the playoffs, Mike Brown gets fired. Simple as that. But the Knicks will be in the playoffs, guys, because the Knicks can sleep and get into the playoffs. All they got to do is go out there and play basketball, and they will make the playoffs. We all know that. They're enough. They got enough talent. All they got to do is play. They'll be in the playoffs. The bottom line is which coach can make them smarter, stronger, and more detail-oriented in whatever they do, offense or defense, to get them to the next level so they can win meaningful playoff games. Mike Brown has won playoff games. Mike Brown has got to the, Eastern Conference Finals. Right? It's not like he can't get a team. And if you look at the team he got to the Eastern Conference Finals, compare that team to the Knicks. I'm just saying, I know it's a different time, but I'm just saying, so I just think we have to take a step back and look at it from a different lens. This is the questions we need to ask. Is Mike Brown a good coach? Yeah. No one here can tell me Mike Brown is not a good coach, because if you did, you'd be lying to yourself. We all know he's a good coach. He's got a winning record, a really good winning record he's got a winning playoff record, and he's got Coach of the Year 2 times. He's a good coach, just like Tibbs was a good coach. And the point is, what are the issues that the Knicks had, right? One of the issues was the rotation. Mike Brown has been known for playing more people in his rotations. So does that address one of those issues? Maybe it does. All right. Another issue that we had: in-game adjustments. Tibbs, to me, was terrible at in-game adjustments. He can make game-to-game adjustments, but in-game adjustments, terrible. Mike Brown is known for making in-game adjustments. I'm not saying at it, but he can make them pretty efficiently. That's a step up from Tibbs. So that's 2 right there. Here's another. And to me, this is the biggest thing, guys. We have turned into an offensive team that we have. Our best players play offense and they don't play defense. Yet we're trying to force these players to play defense like defensive players. No, I'm not saying you stop playing defense. You can't win a championship if you don't play defense. But in order to win a championship, you have to be the best at what your personnel is. Our personnel is geared towards offense. Better coach at coaching offense than Tom Thibodeau is. That's 3. And to me, that's the difference, guys. That's the bottom line. It may not be the second, Mike Brown, the guy to be the best at leading the team to a championship, developing young talent, setting is down the line. I don't know that. But I do know that he can come in here and get the best out of what we can do offensively. That'd be enough to take us to the next level. And then you say, well, if he gets us good offensively, we're going to stink on defense. No, we won't, because we still got good defensive players. At the core, Mike Brown is still a defensive coach. So I think that's the reason why they made that hire, because he can do something with this roster that maybe Tibbs couldn't. And now we'll really get to see if it's just the coach or if it's the players. All right. Let's see here. Craig is in the building. What up, Craig? Well, puppet and we'll do what he is told to do. Well, I mean, I guess then you need to read up on why he actually got fired from Sacramento. There's a little bit more to the story. I'm not going to get into all that because I don't really care. He's here now. Um, man, this is terrible. Once again, to anybody, shout out to you, Brian McMahon. I know you said you just stumbled onto this. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here, and I'm glad you're here. I hope you continue to watch. I mean, we are usually on Mondays, and but and you know, this show you're seeing right now is a new show. It's a third show that I'm adding, but like I said, for whatever reason, this it's never like this. This is terrible. I'm upset at it myself, and I just trying to get through the show and like forget it happened. That's how bad. So, and you know, so I'm gonna quickly finish up. Like I said, you know, and their show, they're probably having the issues that I'm having. I want you guys to see good content and content that you can actually watch. So here, by all means, guys, you know, please check out Dope Soul Sports. The Queen Steph, she's on with her, you know, her great. So you know, definitely go over there. If you could stick it out with me for a little while longer, I appreciate it. But this is terrible, and I apologize. Definitely not the type of programming I want to give to people, but I don't know what's happening. It's freaking frustrating. Uh, says besides making them practice foul shots, but seriously, is it that we need someone who will stand up to Brunson? I honestly think that's part of it. On a coach that will hold the players accountable, because they haven't had a coach that will hold players accountable. What's his face? Who do we have? Maybe Derek Fisher might, but Derek Fisher just wasn't a good enough coach, right? Shot, and we didn't have talent, and so then when we got to, you know, softened over the years, but because he realizes that players talk a lot of stuff about his style, and he was welcoming to players, so they would start liking him. But you know, maybe he took it too far. He took too. All right. Shout out to White Falcon in the building. What up, White Falcon? What's up, my guy? Okay, Craig. Well, I appreciate you. Thank. Like I said, I wish I could just get everything right, man. And this is just terrible, bro. All right, let me move to the next topic. I don't know what else I got to do. Thing. I don't have anything I could do. All right. Well, anyway, team identity. Team identity. System. So in the past, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like right. And in reference to that, I felt like we were more 60-40 defense. In the early Tom Thibodeau days, we were like 70-30, right? With Nerlens Noel and Elfrid Payton, whoever else we had on the team at the time. But I think we became more 60-40 because especially when but as you guys know, like we were running things like we're 60-40, but we weren't playing defense like a 60 team. A 45, maybe a 50 at times, but 40, you know what I mean? So that's why I think us flipping it and being 64 is a better look for this team going forward. I think that's what the Knicks front office thinks. Offensive weapons, and they saw what we did in the first 2 months of the season. We were putting up 145 points game, but putting up those type of numbers, I think they realized that's to be. So that's something to look at, man. That's something to look at, and I think that's what the Knicks are leaning towards. And like I said, Borrego, that would be great, because not only do I know we have a good offensive coach in good offensive coach with motion offense in James Borrego, that would really get me excited, guys. If we get Borrego, and fantastic. That's how I feel about that. So I'm hoping. So we'll see. And like I said, it would be nice to see Dawn Staley be a part of the assistant coaches too. If that's our coach, if you want to call it that, Mike Brown, James Borrego, Rick Brunson, and Dawn Staley, because you got different voices, you got different styles, and you got winners there. Is a disciplinarian, knows the team already, knows the tendencies, and then Dawn Staley is a winner. She's been a winner on the female side, but still, winning is winning. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not sure. I heard they were allowing him to know what's going on. First off, I don't know how you can deny. I'm an assistant coach. How are you going to deny me job? Seriously? That's crazy. If I was him, I'd be like, well, I don't know, man. One thing to say, well, you're my head coach. I don't want you leaving us to be somewhere. So I don't know about that. All right. So anyway, that's the whole thing. He likes motion offense as well. He likes to get guys involved in moving, but also different play and different sets. It's not keyed in on one person solely. I like that too. And I think the Knicks. I'm just trying to refresh my other browser just to see if it looks a little better now. This is just whatever. White Falcon says Ron trade, and trade for who? I need to make a trade. I think they just need to the addition of Jordan Clarkson. He's not perfect, but I think Jordan Clarkson helps the team with giving. I think Yabusele is a nice pickup team. Defender, but he's physical, right? Strong, and he shoot the three. Give him a little scoring. So, you know, at least one more veteran piece. Who that's going to be, I don't know. Will they be bringing back Shamit? But I think that I mean that's enough because not everybody's going to play. I mean, the most we go in is 10 guys. Let's just be realistic here. 11-man, 12-man rotation happen in a weird time, right? Weird setting, but 10-man is really the most you're going to get. Jalen Brunson. I'm going to tell you who I think should be starting shooting guard. Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, or wait, hold on. They might go big. They might Robinson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. The bench, Jordan Yabusele, Josh Hart. That's 9 right there. So, guys, I mean, that's 9 right there. We're going to play. I mean, we might get one more, and that's a good thing. Tibbs was playing 7, and sometimes 8, a lot of times playing 7. Talking about already going to 9 every day, possibly going to 10. Eshawn says Ben Simmons. I know a lot of people, be about this whole thought. I'm going to say this to you guys, right? I am not mad at the whole thought of Ben Simmons coming here because I just said something to you. I just said the Knicks are going to have, I already named 9 guys right there. Ben came here, he would probably be the 10th man in the rotation. I'm not worried about no Ben Simmons. If he comes here and sucks, then he sucks. If he comes here for $2 million, that all right, I don't care. If he doesn't have the right attitude or he's not playing the right ball, then he can sit on the bench for his $2 million. If it's too much, they can just don't show up, don't dress. We don't need to see you. That's it. It's just the bet. They messed around and gave to wrong person. The flip side, though, is that you can have a 6'9" interchangeable small forward guard type guy who can handle the ball, play some defense, ball with his long arms and his anticipation. If he's back to playing good basketball, I mean, decent. And as far as his, yeah, we know his shot is broken. Although I know I saw him practicing again and the shot looked good, but that's practice. Everybody can knock down shots in practice. When and the defense is on you is a whole nother story. But I'm just saying, in the past, you never would have got me to say, bring in Ben Simmons. And there was a point where I was considering, and then I went back to saying never again. I'm telling you right now, with knowing that the Knicks have Clarkson, Yabusele team, knowing that, you know, one of these guys from the bench could step up if need be, now that there's a chance they might play, like a Dottier or a McCullers or a Huck Porty, whatever. I'm okay with taking a chance on giving somebody for a little bit of money to add to our team, because you're looking at, when it comes to this type of stuff, you're looking for lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? Have a team that can get you to a certain point. In order to win a championship, people have to play above and beyond. Weren't counting on. Maybe Ben Simmons would be the type of addition that comes out of nowhere that we're not expecting much from. Situation where he's playing on the best team he's played on in a long time, and I'm not saying that'll be the case, but who knows? Maybe that would be the case. Yeah, man, for real, bro. No, but I haven't liked Ben Simmons all these years. Now you're not losing much by taking a chance on him. because you already have a 9-man rotation of guys that you could. In Clarkson, I like those pickups. I don't love the Clarkson pickup so much, but I like it. But yeah, so I'm good. I'm good. You want to bring in Ben Simmons? All right, whatever. I think guys, I think we overreacting a little bit because we think that Ben Simmons is going to come here and automatically he's going to stink it up. Don't have to play, guys. We're talking about, I already named 9 guys ahead of him. I wouldn't worry about it. The other thing is he might come here and ball out, right? He might, like Ben Simmons might come say, hey, I'm playing with, I'm in the Garden, all celebrities are here. This is different. He might come here and ball out. Just saying. Just saying. It's got to, like I said, I appreciate you guys. I thank you for sticking it out and being here and rocking with me. Once again, I want to apologize. Tuned in. Thank you guys for being here, supporting the show. If you like what you see, it's hard for me to even say that on a night like this. Of the content, I would say this: don't judge this channel by this show. Don't take a look at our early rock because this is crazy tonight. I hope to get everything fixed before Saturday's show, and I'm still trying to figure Twitter because I know the basketball game is Saturday and I don't know if I am going to go or not. I'm thinking about it, but we'll see. That means it'll be a short show on Saturday. I'll do maybe an hour, and I think it starts maybe around 1:30. So, and then leave and go to the thing from there. But we'll see, or I may not go at all. But once again, guys, thank you. I appreciate, you guys now know how we do it. Thank you to anybody tuned in. Please smash that like button if you enjoy the content and what the show really is. But guys, bottom line is I want to leave you with this. My whole thing about this State of the Game show is like, what can we learn today? And so I think today is the book is not out on Mike Brown because Mike Brown's book is from a different story, right? Is now turning a page and he's going to be with the New York Knicks with a pretty damn good roster. Like I said, people will say I'm wrong because everybody's saying it. This is the best team that Mike Brown will ever coach. So let's see if Mike Brown can do with a roster like this, because you never know what's going to happen. No clue that Steve, what he got out of the Golden State Warriors when they fired Mark Jackson, and everybody keeps saying, using the baseball analogy, nobody knew that when Joe Yankees, when he did with that roster, that he was going to bring them to the promised land. And we saw what Joe Torre did. And we also saw what Steve Kerr did. So let's give Mike Brown a shot, guys. Because like I said, the bottom line is, in the end, Mike Brown is a good coach. So whether or not he's the right coach, we'll find out. One thing we know is the Knicks are going to win basketball games. It's all about, will they be able to win a championship? All right. I appreciate you guys. I'm out. Once again, sorry for the lag. And I'll catch you on the next one. I'm definitely going to figure out a way to get this situation fixed. I think it really comes down to just me restarting my router, but I didn't do that in the show because that would have been crazy. But take care, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your night. And I will catch you on the next. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Monday or Saturday or sometime during the week. Next week's show will be about Giants. So the state of the game will be about the Giants. So tune in for that. I'll have a special guest. So I appreciate you guys once again. As I always say, no matter what, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, we are still Knicks fans. So take care of yourselves. Be good. And if you can't be good, hey, be good at it. I'm out. Latest.